Good morning, fans of the new network. It is James Ernest of Sarah's Playlist. We are excited because today we have Makenzie Phipps, and she is got a new single, 18 Wheels. Makenzie, thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you so much. And like you were saying, my name is Makenzie Phipps, and I've been so excited about this new single that has released. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what everybody thinks about it.
Oh gosh, yeah, it should be a great one. I've enjoyed listening to it. I was really impressed with how it acknowledges the hard work of the people that do drive those trucks.
Yes, especially I love this song just for that reason because there's so many people out there that I feel really underestimate the importance of truckers.
Hmm.
Because, I mean, you have to think about we would not have anything in today's world without them. They are the reason that we have majority of the things in our household today. They are the reason that we are able to live amazing lives and have all of these amazing products from all different kinds of stores and different outlets. So I really am hoping that people take from this song just how important truck drivers are in our world because
Exactly.
without them, the world would not go round.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I was going to say they should have a better appreciation. But I want, but I want to go back to the beginning. I understand that you started singing in church when you were a young woman, going to church with your grandma.
Yes, I started singing when I was 4, and I would always go to my mama's house on the weekends, and it would always be me, my cousin, and my brother. But my mama was a very godly woman, so, it didn't matter if you were playing cards at late hours of the night on Saturday and you're up till 3 in the morning, that Sunday your butt's gonna be in that pew in church. And she would always go early in the morning, so I would just go and run around the church, and I would remember songs that I had learned in Sunday school, and I would go to the piano and I would remember how they sounded, and I would just play by ear and sing along to it. And that's when she really knew that I'd had a gift for singing. So at that point, a little bit as I got older, she would take me into her kitchen and we would have a hymn book and she would show me different songs and she'd have me learn them and I would perform them at Sunday service every morning.
That is awesome. Another thing from your childhood that I think helped you was that pink Cinderella boombox. Do you still have it?
No, I do not. I have no idea where that thing ended up because it either broke or we had thrown it away because I know at that time in my life, I had been living in my trailer park. I loved my trailer park so much. It had such great memories. That is where I lived when I was younger, and that's where I would go around and I would sing my Loretta Lynn songs with it. So I don't know if when we had moved out of that house, if we just threw it away as I didn't use it anymore, or if it broke. I can't remember, but I loved that thing.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, it's amazing how childhood memories can spark such great nostalgia.
Right. No, absolutely. And I did mean to say, we did not give people a disclaimer. I'm in my car right now because I'm actually about to be attending CRS 2024, and that is Country Radio Seminar. So I did not want to miss this interview by any means. So we are just making it work and doing it in the car. So
I greatly
apologies
appreciate
for
that.
any writing, but I've been very
Yeah,
much looking
no
forward
worries.
to
We've had people in odder places, so yeah, it all works out.
this.
We just appreciate your commitment to your fans. That is phenomenal.
Well, thank you. I very much appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to speak with me.
It wasn't much after you started, playing around with the piano at church where you got lessons. Who did you get lessons from?
So I had gotten lessons for piano by a woman named Tammy Krieger. And how I got introduced to her was in my elementary school. There was a boy that was a grade older than me, and we had done a talent show one year. And of course, we were separate acts, but I had sang and he had played the piano. And I mean, you have to put in perspective, he was in the 5th grade, but he was playing these beautiful classical pieces. It was insane because, I mean, you would not think that a child that's got to be probably 9 or so would be playing these elaborate pieces. So my parents had knew that I enjoyed playing the piano just by playing with it by ear. So we had reached out to his parents and gotten in contact with his teacher. So I had went and she had taught me all about the beginners and intermediate topics with the piano and lessons and everything that I needed to know about playing the piano. So I had done that up until about the age of 14 because I started those lessons when I was 10. But as I got older, I kind of started realizing that although I love the piano, it really wasn't something that I enjoy doing on a classical level. I have more of a adoration to listen to individuals play it rather than myself play it. I'll always love the piano and I do like playing with it every now and then, but I definitely enjoy hearing others that are way more talented with the instrument play it.
I know what you mean. You got, shoot, your specialty. You're more the guitar, they're more the piano. But yeah, just an appreciation and a love for music. You started songwriting at 14. Did that inspire you to learn the guitar?
No, so with the guitar, I never really had a reasoning as to why I wanted to play it because I always told everybody, I was like, I will never learn a stringed instrument. I was hard headed. I wanted to be different and I wanted to play my piano out at shows and everything. But it did start growing irritating to have to bring a full size keyboard to all of my shows, and that thing was heavy and it was just a lot to deal with. So one day out of the blue, I had went and watched Camp Rock, which is an old Disney movie, and I just watched it for fun one day and out of nowhere I just said, "You know what? Maybe the guitar wouldn't be so bad." So I told my parents that I wanted to maybe learn it. So they had actually gotten me a baby Taylor guitar because my hands are very small. For those that cannot see, my ring size is actually a 4.
Ooh,
So I have very, very small hands. So we were trying to find a guitar that could be good for beginners like myself. So that's when we got a Baby Taylor, which is a smaller version of a guitar. And that helped me so much with being able to push down the strings like I needed to and really work my way up to playing on a standard full size guitar.
do you ever miss the simple life of Bluefield?
I do in some aspects because, Bluefield at the end of the day is always going to be my home. But there's so much more opportunities and so much more things to do in Tennessee rather than Bluefield. But they both have their pros and cons because, especially with Tennessee, you do have a lot more to do. You have a lot more options with food, shopping, events, and so forth. But at the same time, there's so much traffic. I mean, on my way here to CRS, took me an hour to get here, and then people randomly stop in the middle of the road for no apparent reason. But when you go to Bluefield, if I need to be somewhere at 8:30 and it takes me 30 minutes, I'm going to leave at 8 because there's going to be no traffic. There's going to be nobody on the road, no kind of interference with my travel. So I do like that a lot. And I also just love that. My friends are there, my family, everything that I've ever known is in Bluefield. So I do miss that aspect because it's just always going to be home to me.
Oh, yeah. And then your Mawmaw's in Bluefield. She played a big role in your development. Did your brother ever get the matching tattoo to you and your cousin?
That man, no, he has not gotten it yet. Oh my gosh. It's right here for those that want to see. It says, Mama loves you, and it is her handwriting. And so the reason I actually got that was because unfortunately, over the last couple of years, she has developed Alzheimer's, and it has been a very, very difficult thing to deal with. But I'm very fortunate in the sense that she is still, for the most part, right in her mind. Like, she still knows me and my parents, and she knows my family members and so forth. New people and short term or kind of out the window. She does not remember them very well. But I wanted to make sure that I was able to get her to write down Mama loves you because she would always say that to me on the phone. So I went over to her house one day. I said, "Write down Mama loves you in your handwriting." And she had no idea why I was having her do this. And this was a month before her birthday. So I went and I got it tattooed and then I showed it to her and she was so shocked. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that." But my cousin ended up getting it as well. And we were trying so hard to convince my brother because it's the 3 primary grandkids that would go to her house pretty much every weekend. But I kept telling him his reasoning for not getting a tattoo was he didn't want to wake up one day and not want it. But at least on that, it's meaningful. So he can't just be like, I don't want this on my body when in reality, it's something sentimental. So, Chandler, if you're watching, go get it. This is your sign.
Awesome. Yeah, because you're right. I mean, your mama, I mean, she played such an important part of your life. She's never going to be someone or something that you would not want to acknowledge. I get it, shoot, if all of a sudden you no longer want a Charlie Brown cartoon on your leg or whatever, but yeah, having her definitely, it's a keeper. So some of your songs people think are based on real life experiences. People think maybe or life gives you love are based on real life experiences, but you had other people write those songs for you. So do you know if either of those are based on their real life experiences?
So for Life Gives You Love, I will never know that because unfortunately I do not have any contact with the three songwriters, which were Megan Patrick, Kyle Clark, and Lance Miller. So maybe one of them had some kind of experience where life gave them love and they took it and run. But I do know, as far as with Maybe, my backup singer guitarist Shane Begley, he wrote that song. And I even asked him, I said, did you write that song based on anything that had occurred in your life? And he said, no, he just came up with the theme and topic of it just by thinking of people out there. They do have relationship issues and they may enter a relationship and it may be right person, wrong time, or something like that. And you try to make it work, but at the end of the day, it's just not meant to be. So he just ended up writing that for maybe people out there that may be going through something similar to that scenario to be able to relate to.
Well, that was great of him because I know a lot of people can relate to that and have had experiences like that, and it means a lot to them. So happy birthday.
Thank you.
I know in your song, you bring the beer, I'll bring the noise. Uh, shoot, what would you want them to bring? Because would you want them to bring beer, or is there another adult beverage that you'd want them to bring?
Well, thank you again. I very much appreciate it. And for those out there being like, isn't this girl like 16? Because I have braids and all. I am 22 now. I have entered my T Swift era, as my generation would say. But what's so hilarious is I do have the song "You Bring the Beer, I'll Bring the Noise," and I do not even like beer. I don't drink anything carbonated, so I don't drink pop. I don't drink beer. I don't drink wine coolers, champagne, anything that has bubbles. I do not drink. It burns my mouth. I've never enjoyed it, not even as a child. I never liked pop. So I would definitely say my beverage of choice, my adult beverage of choice would either be a vodka cran. I do very much like those. And one drink that a lot of people do not know about, it is called a liquid marijuana. And a lot of people out here in Tennessee do not know what that is, which shocked me because it's a very big drink out in Virginia and West Virginia from where I'm from. And they only call it a liquid marijuana because it's green. But it is a rum based mixed drink, and I think it is so good. It's kind of coconut, pineapple-y, and I'm definitely a girl that likes the sweeter, fruity drinks rather than, I mean, Shane, he can drink Patron on the rocks. I can't do that by any means. He drinks Jack and Coke. I don't like Jack at all, and I will not drink Coke. So I very much am just the fruity kind of beverage drinker.
Nice. And then at the during your shows, you're known for saying "Stay safe, stay blessed." Where does that come from?
Came up with that on the spot during COVID when that had hit because I know there was a lot of devastation, more so with just people, because COVID was a terrible time. I had graduated high school when COVID had hit, and there were so many different things that I was so upset about. And fortunately, my music journey did not stop during that because a lot of the establishments, when they had opened back up, they did not want a band. They wanted either duo or solo shows. So that worked out with for me. But there was a lot of different groups that were made on all different kinds of social media that were trying to help people through the hard times. And music is definitely something that helps people through hard times because it just relates to people and speaks to people in different ways that talking would. So I would do videos on my social media pages and I would do live shows. And I was thinking about, what can I say to maybe give somebody a little bit of ounce of hope to just go on with their day and to just get through each day. And I just randomly at the end of a video, I just said, stay safe and stay blessed because I mean, I wanted people not only to stay safe during all of COVID and not get sick and not have any issues, but at the same time, I wanted them to realize that if you're not sick and you're not going through any kind of horrible situation that some people out there were going through as far as having loved ones or friends in the hospital that were fighting for their lives and some unfortunately giving up their fight with having to suffer from COVID, I wanted them to realize, you're blessed in this situation because there are so many people out here that they lost loved ones that they couldn't even say goodbye to because of COVID protocols in the hospital. And I know that that had to be something that I could not even imagine them having to go through. So I just wanted people out there to know, stay safe and stay blessed because you are blessed if you didn't have to go through any of that.
Oh, definitely. On a brighter note, congratulations on your new song, 18 Wheels. And then you mentioned before how Shane will write some of the songs. I understand he wrote that one for an event in Louisville, Kentucky. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Shane is an awesome songwriter. He can write about anything and everything. If you told him write about broccoli rolling down a hill, he'll write a song. He'll write a song about it. It's insane to me because I cannot do that. I was not given that talent, but he is an insanely talented musician, singer, songwriter, everything really. But my PR had gotten me the opportunity to go and perform at the 50th Mid America Trucking Show anniversary that was held in Louisville, Kentucky, and this was a couple of years back. But they had brought up the idea, what if you wrote a song about truckers? And my aunt had actually suggested that as well. So Shane got to work on it. He wrote that song. He had pitched it to me, and I remember the day we worked on it, we were actually at a show and we were on a break and we just started messing with it. And the next day we went and recorded it. And I thought it was an amazing song. And he just wrote it so well as far as with the storyline being about a family and their dad being a truck driver. And, they had passed, but they still had all of these great memories of him being a trucker. So, although that is the storyline, of course, the overall meaning of the song is for us to show our appreciation and gratitude to all of the truckers out there. So 18 Wheels is now finally out so people can go and stream it wherever they listen to music. And I can't wait to see what everybody thinks.
Yeah, it is nice to have a positive song about truckers because when I think of songs about truckers, I think about the Garth Brooks song where he takes the truck and drives it into the hotel and then, yeah,
Yeah.
the
We
Mama
try
London or
positive.
something. Yeah, it's a much more positive song. And then Shane, you mentioned his talent about writing, well, of course, and his talent about beverages, but he also has another talent about connecting with folks. And on Facebook, he connected with Sal Oliver. Tell us about how that got him to produce for you.
Yes, Sal Oliveri was my producer. Um, what's going on? I can't even believe it's 2024 because I mean we're already entering March. Like that's crazy to me. But we had went and produced with him a couple of years back now. And Shane, he's got so many people on his Facebook. I mean, I don't think he's met half of them. I don't think he knows half of them. He just has people on there. I mean, we have actually went to Walmart one time and we were in a contest at one point with trying to get a song to be first place by interactions. And we were going to Walmart telling people all about it. And he went up to this woman as if he had never met her and they were Facebook friends. And I was like, that is so embarrassing. You have all of these people on your Facebook and you don't even know half of them. But he did know of Sal because he had known him from Sal's musical history back in the day. And when the time had came for us to really go into studio and try to record songs, he thought, why not send him some rough drafts of the songs we had and see what he thinks. And fortunately, he was willing to work with me, and I very much appreciate that because he is a insanely talented producer and he is just an awesome person in general. And we had such a great time recording the 6 songs that I did in studio.
Awesome. And then I understand there's no set timetable on when the EP is going to be released, but you're hoping in the next few months.
Yes, I cannot wait to wrap up this EP with our very last song, which is called Whiskey Kills the Time. So the EP will be releasing here, I'm hoping within about late March or April, so that people out there can be going and telling me which songs they like the best and which songs maybe they relate to out there. But this will be my very first EP, and I cannot wait to release it to everybody.
That is awesome. And then I understand you have some other things that are going to be big in 2024. You're going to some new venues that you've never been to before, doing about 85 shows. I mean, that sounds phenomenal.
Yes, I cannot wait to go to all of these new venues that I have booked for 2024. And I love being able to go to shows and interact with people, especially just trying to break the ice some at my shows, because there will be shows where people are a little bit timid and they don't really know how to react to music. So during songs, I'll get finished and I'll just randomly call people out in the audience just to break the ice. I'll just be like, hey, how are y'all doing at this table? And I'll say, where are y'all from? And it just gets a better engagement so that everybody in the room can get to know them. And I mean, there may be some people that are from the same state or from the same city and they have no idea, and they get to connect and just become acquaintances. And I just love being able to go to my shows and talk to people and
That
play
is
for
awesome.
them and show them who I really am as a person and an artist.
Oh, that is phenomenal. Another thing that is really phenomenal about you is your passion for adopting animals. I think that is great. I understand that you have adopted two, or you've adopted one and on the way to adopt another one. But the other nice thing is you don't judge folks that do go the other way and go with the breeding programs and stuff like that, as long as they go with a good program. So before we let you go, we want you to tell us about Baby Raven, and then of course your new addition, Jared.
Yes. So baby Raven, I adopted her in West Virginia, and I had adopted her at a cat rescue. It's called Second Chance for Cats. And I had gotten her when she was 8 months old, and she's a little black kitty. And I have her still to this day. I ain't never getting rid of her. She is my baby. I love adopting animals because, I mean, especially in shelters, these animals are just so loving and they crave human affection and they just crave finding their person. And like you had mentioned, I do not knock anybody out there that goes the purebred breed route because, I mean, when I was 4, my very first dog was a pug. It was a purebred pug. We had got it from a reputable breeder, and I loved that dog with everything in me. He did actually end up going to my grandparents' house and living the rest of his days there. And then our second dog was actually a Chihuahua. I mean, I don't knock anybody for getting purebred dogs as long as they're going the correct route, as long as they're going to a reputable breeder that really cares about these animals, cares about their genetics, cares about how they are bred, and that they're taken care of. Because I mean, there's so many backyard breeders everywhere that they'll just get 2 different dogs, they'll breed them, and I mean, in some cases, especially like with pit bulls in our world, sometimes people will end up breeding 2 different kinds of pit bulls. And when they are born, unfortunately, genetically, their genetics are off and they will end up having a aggressive hereditary gene. And there's nothing that the dog can do. I've had instances where I've had friends and they've gotten a dog from a breeder, and they've gotten them since they were a puppy. And I mean, even as a puppy, they were aggressive or they were showing aggressive habits. And that's all due to genetics, because at the end of the day, especially with dog breeds in general, you can try your very best to raise them to the best of your capability and to make sure that they are in a safe place and that they are in a proper place. But sometimes at the end of the day, genetics play a big factor, and there's nothing that we can do at that point except for just having these breeders really pay attention to what they're doing, what they are breeding, and so forth. So again, I don't knock anybody out there that gets purebred dogs or cats as long as they have done their research and they know that they're coming from a great breeder and a reputable breeder at that. But I just love adopting shelter animals because I've done so much shelter work. I mean, I work at a shelter, and these babies just deserve great homes and people that understand them for who they are as an animal. So I'm actually going to be bringing Jared home in 8 days. I'm getting him from my local animal shelter, and he is a cross-eyed cream kitty. And I cannot wait to bring him home to Baby Raven. They've already met. Baby Raven's gonna have to get used to having a brother because she's always been the diva of the household. So she was a little bit of a brat when she met him. But I know, especially with me moving into my new apartment here soon, they will be able to decompress together and get to know each other. And I can't wait to show everybody out there Baby Raven and Bubby Jared. So I'm gonna call him Bubby Jared.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, Mackenzie, it has been a pleasure having you on the show. Before you go, where on social media, where on the web, where can our listeners find out more about you?
You can find me on any social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and my website is MakenziePhipps.com. And maybe our paths will meet out there. But I want to thank you so much again for speaking with me today. And everybody go out there and download 18 Wheels.